You see, I think one of the takeaways of the abrogation, and I would say also a muscular policy, that what the Hurriyat thought of itself, that they were big, that is all gone. The arrogance of the Hurriyat is finished. And actually, the Hurriyat is finished. If you want to revive it, you can revive it. The people are always there. But if you want to revive it, then my question is, why is the poor Mirwais, who is the center of the Hurriyat, if there's anyone left, it is the Mirwais, and he has a role in Kashmir, then why is he under house arrest? Why is he not out in the open? Why is he not asked to contest the elections? And I don't know whether he would, but he is the main, let's say, separatist leader or a leader with that kind of leaning. Most of it is finished, let me tell you. Pakistan also is finished. Mainstreaming is a very important part of dealing or handling Kashmir, and I think it goes back to 1947. Because what has been our problem in Kashmir? The problem has been Pakistan. So the Delhi's effort throughout has been to mainstream Kashmir. And, first we started with Sheikh Abdullah, and he was mainstreamed in 75 when he entered into an accord with Indira Gandhi. So after that, Farooq has been mainstreamed. The other mainstream leaders are mainstream. The Hurriyat was also getting mainstream. Now it is mainstream, I think. But you mentioned an interesting thing that the Jamaat is participating in the election. So are some old Hurriyat people participating. Now so somebody is reviving all this for they think political gain, but it won't happen.
Hello and welcome to Outlook Talks. My name is Tarique Anwar. In this segment today we have with us Mr. A.S. Dulat. He was former Special Director, Intelligence Bureau, former Secretary, Research and Analysis Wing, and post-retirement. In the year 2000, he was appointed as an advisor on Jammu and Kashmir in the Prime Minister's office, where he served from January 2000 to May 2004. He has authored many books. In 2015, he came to the center stage on account of his book, Kashmir, The Vajpayee Years. In 2018, he co-authored another book called The Spy Chronicles, R&AW, Raw, ISI, and the Illusion of Peace with ex-ISI chief Asad Durrani. Again, so sir, let me begin by asking you, what is Kashmir according to you?
Kashmir is Kashmir. Right now it's going through I think a momentous election. It's a very important election for everybody. And you'll see that there's been a very high percentage of voting in the first phase. Today is the second phase. The amount of candidates who are contesting, so it's a big thing. And this time, winning and losing is important, because everybody is waiting to see what will happen in this election.
So this is the first election after 10 years in the abrogation of Article 370.
That's
a lot has happened in the past 10 years. What's your comment on that?
Well, it's been up and down. I mean, there are some positive things like which the government always points out, like, stone pelting and hartals and all have stopped. They've stopped because of our initial muscular policy that we adopted after the abrogation, because I think there was a fear in Delhi that there may be a huge revolt or something, which never happened. So I think because of that, the Kashmiris decided not to come out and unnecessarily get killed. So the muscular policy worked, but militancy, I differentiate between militancy and terrorism. Militancy is our homegrown, what happens with our own, where our own boys, Kashmiris, are involved. And that went up and down. We saw that first it started in the south, which was most vulnerable. And but the most difficult part of Kashmir actually is the north, because that's where the infiltration takes place from, traditionally has taken place from. And the worst terror has come in the north. The worst killings have happened in the north. And then also, what was frightening was that there was a period when it came to the center, to Srinagar, which normally doesn't happen. So these were disturbing trends. Now all that has, thankfully, it is largely over. But we still have to deal with terror, which comes from Pakistan. And time and again, we've seen in that area of Punch and Rajouri, the army has faced a very difficult situation because that is a difficult area. It's thickly forested, and time and again, terrorists have come in and killed the army. And now it has shifted to Jammu of late. Uh, I think out of the 10 districts in Jammu, 8 have been affected by terrorism, some attack by the other. So it's all right. We hope the elections go through peacefully, and then let's see who wins and what kind of government is formed. That is the situation.
So you mentioned muscular policy.
Yeah.
Earlier, you criticized National Security Advisor.
No, I don't criticize him. I don't dare criticize him.
But you called him hawkish for his handling hardliner position in handling the border disputes with China. In your book, A Life in the Shadows, MMR, you have a full chapter on Doval's strategy, muscular power in Kashmir. So
you see, let me say very clearly, Doval and I are friends. We've been colleagues. We work together. And a lot of people don't know that we work together in Kashmir. His way of dealing with things is slightly different from mine. Possibly he's been more successful, so I can't challenge Mr. Doval in anything, because he is one of our best operatives. So I think that's what it is as far as Doval goes.
So in 2023, you again, there's something called Doval's doctrine, which again you criticize in 2023 for handling the Kashmir conflict with Pakistan. What is that, that Doval doctrine? And
No, you see, these are things which people say and mention, that there is a Doval doctrine, which is hardline. And then people say there is a Dulat doctrine, which is soft. So yeah, as I said, we are different types of people, and I didn't know that there was a Dulat doctrine till the former Governor Satpal Malik, when I met him. And I introduced myself. I said, I'm Dulat. He says, "Aapke baare mein bahut suna hai Kashmir mein." So I didn't know there was such a doctrine, and I still don't know what this doctrine is. But yeah, there is a difference between Ajit and myself. He's tougher. Maybe I'm a little softer. Our former Director Intelligence Bureau, Mr. M.K. Narayanan, used to say that when I want to wield the stick in Kashmir, I send Doval. When I want to offer the carrot, I send Dulat. So that's what the difference is.
Many Kashmir watchers, including you, were of the opinion that peace attempts would collapse with the abrogation of Article 370. You yourself had said that separatism, not terrorism, and Hurriyat will all be finished. Is it so, as Hurriyat is still there? They have taken, Jamaat Islami is taking part in the election. So,
you see, I think one of the takeaways of the abrogation, and I would say also a muscular policy, that what the Hurriyat thought of itself, that they were big, that is all gone. The arrogance of the Hurriyat is finished. And actually the Hurriyat is finished. If you want to revive it, you can revive it. The people are always there. But if you want to revive it, then my question is, why is the poor Mirwais, who is the center of the Hurriyat, if there's anyone left, it is the Mirwais, and he has a role in Kashmir, then why is he under house arrest? Why is he not out in the open? Why is he not asked to contest the elections? And I don't know whether he would, but he is the main, let's say, separatist leader, or a leader with that kind of leaning. Most of it is finished, let me tell you. Pakistan also is finished. But yes, because, Kashmir, Pakistan remains a little factor. So therefore, I think, Kashmiri leaders, whether it is Dr. Farooq Abdullah or whether it is Mehbooba, they keep saying that we need to talk to Pakistan. And I agree, we should talk to Pakistan.
So you once said that militancy would come down, continue to come down, but terrorism will stay unless we sort out issues with Pakistan.
That's
and
exactly
you batted for dialogue with the neighbor. Many dialogues have already taken place. What happened?
So continue talking. Dialogue. Not every dialogue will succeed. Now, what is happening? You mentioned China in between. I don't know China. I can talk about Kashmir. But we need to sort out something with China also. It requires a dialogue. It will not happen militarily. Neither they can come and take over India, nor we can go into China. So it has to be sorted out diplomatically and negotiations, talking.
BJP, which is in the center, has traditionally maintained a position that it will not negotiate with any non-state actors. And you talk about holding dialogues with Pakistan.
I still do. And I still believe it will happen. Because it's a necessity. Even if it's a showpiece, you need to do it. You have to do it. And it will happen. This is my belief.
So coming back to elections again, given the Jamaat-e-Islami Kashmir participating in election after 37 years, what impact do you foresee this shift having on the broader political landscape in Kashmir? One. Second, do you think this could lead to Hizbul Mujahideen, which has been supported by the Jamaat, shifting its strategy in any way?
No, I think the Hizb is almost finished. There's nothing much left in the Hizbul Mujahideen. There may be a few boys coming occasionally, but largely the Hizb is over. There are other tanzeems now. There was Lashkar, which is the Pakistani tanzeem set up by the ISI. That also is frittering away. So it's now more the Jaish, and also now they've got different names. They call it resistance force and things like that. But whatever they call it, it's all from Pakistan.
There are continued grievances of people in Kashmir with regard to their survival, identity, dignity, and language. What's your comment on that? How do you see that?
There's one little point, that's all. And this is not, it has nothing to do with abrogation. Of course, it's got accentuated with the abrogation, but I've been hearing it pre-abrogation also. There's only one fear that the Kashmiri carries or has, that he should not be reduced to a minority in his own state. That's all. So that will take care of whatever you're saying, dignity and things like that. And of course, abrogation, 370 is gone, it's dead, it's finished. It's not going to come back, no matter what the politicians say. But what is required, and I think there's a commitment in Parliament of the government to restore statehood. And the earlier it is done, the better it is.
You have time and again said that Delhi always viewed the valley, the region of Jammu and Kashmir, in black and white and ignored its grays. What are the grays that you always refer to?
So, the grey is like that. The Kashmiri is basically grey.
Yeah.
And Delhi likes to see things in black and white, including myself. But then you realize that Kashmir is not either white or black. It's more grey. It's in between. And Meanwhile once said to me, I said, आप लोग सब झूठ बोलते हैं. He said, yes, but you teach us how to lie. You taught us how to lie. Because you don't speak the truth with us. So neither do we. It is impacted the Kashmiri character, but it is also inherent in the Kashmiri character. The Kashmiri is not easy to understand. There are many layers within layers within layers. And by the time you get through those layers, you'll find you failed in understanding the Kashmiri. So it takes a lot of time. It requires a lot of patience. It requires a lot of understanding. And once you start understanding, you'll find the Kashmiris are wonderful people.
In your previous comment, you have mentioned this, but let me ask you once again. There are two narratives. Kashmir perceive unrest in the valley as militancy, but the government calls it terrorism. What is the difference between the two? Can you
Actually,
elaborate?
there's no difference. The difference was I had created the difference in my mind. That let's look at it like this: that we've been talking of militancy, we've been talking of terrorism. Actually, it's all terrorism. But I look at what our boys do a little more, because they are our boys, And it started in South Kashmir, as I told you, where boys said at one time that they were prepared to die in the name of Allah. All that has stopped now. Well, nobody wants to die ultimately. Well, die for what? And this thing has been this intifada, if you want to call it that, has been going on for so many years. All that it has brought to Kashmir is death and destruction. The gun has not solved any problem for Kashmir. So that's how it is.
Let's go back to the neighbors once again. In the light of ongoing political upheaval in Pakistan, how do you anticipate this might affect the situation in Kashmir? Do you see any potential shift in policy or dynamics?
From the Pakistani side?
Yes.
They're already showing their hand that, they will continue with this terrorism. It is not stopped. Sometimes it comes down. Now, I think because of the elections, it has reduced. But we've seen a lot of it in Jammu, and we've seen a lot of it in Poonch and Rajouri, where it keeps happening. Even during the election, there was an attack in Kishtwar or somewhere. So it's not over. And obviously, that's the Pakistan policy for the time being, that we'll do this.
So, in the light of political unrest in Pakistan, do you anticipate any effect in the situation in Kashmir?
No, I don't think so. I think they've made their position quite clear by continuing with terrorism. That's why I say one needs to talk to Pakistan. What is the point of all this? What are you trying to prove? Because if you can do it, we can also do it. So, इसके लिए बातचीत होनी चाहिए. There is no other way.
While Modi government decision to strip Kashmir of its special status brought global criticism, yet for the first time, India has invited world diplomats from countries around the globe to observe the elections, which is ongoing. How do you think this move will influence international perceptions of the political situation in the region?
This is not the first time that it has happened. It's a good thing. Let the diplomats or the foreigners go and see how we hold elections. We are a democratic country, and let them have a look. But this was done, I can remind you, in 2002 also, when Vajpayee was very clear. He wanted a free, fair, open election. Not only which would be accepted not only in Kashmir or in India, but all over the world. And he asked, foreigners were told, whoever wants to go can go and watch the election. And by and large, the foreigners accepted that it was a free and fair election. So this time also, we hope the same, foreigners will think the same and come up with whatever. If they have to say anything, it'll be positive.
Mr. Dulat, with your long experience of Kashmir, what are the historical mistakes the BJP and the Congress have committed in Kashmir?
Well, people won't agree with me, but I think there have been watershed moments in Kashmir. I think, and that is how Pakistan got into Kashmir. I think one was the arrest of Sheikh Abdullah, of course, in 1953, and then the death of the Sheikh in 82, and then the dismissal of Farooq Abdullah, his son, in 84. So these are watershed moments. There are others also, but these are the basic things, the big things. And Pakistan, as long as the Sheikh was alive, let me tell you one more thing, that the Abdullahs are quite despised in Pakistan. because Pakistan has never forgiven the Sheikh for going with India rather than and turning down Jinnah's offer of Pakistan. So I think we forget this sometimes. The Abdullahs are not liked in Pakistan. And therefore, as long as the Sheikh was alive, Pakistan didn't venture into Kashmir. And then they were waiting for him to go. And the Sheikh died in 82. And when Farooq took over, they were waiting to see what will happen, what kind of leader he will be. And everybody in Kashmir says that Farooq's first tenure as chief minister, I think it only lasted about 18 months before he was dismissed, was his best. So after 84 is when, in my mind, Pakistan started working on entering Kashmir and starting this whole business and, with the JKLF and then the Jamaat and the Hizbul Mujahideen and whatever it is. But I think it was all post-84 because I think Zia-ul Haq was then the president. And between Zia and the ISI and also Amanullah Khan had gone back to Pakistan. All these things combined and to plan and plot and plan the insurgency in Kashmir.
How do you see this notion of normalcy? Even after this normalcy, attacks are happening, we are losing our soldiers, so many things are happening.
I've said that. I mean, Kashmiri leaders keep saying that. Mehbooba keeps saying it. Dr. Farooq keeps saying it, that where is the normalcy? And we project normalcy through tourism. And tourism, yeah, it is doing well. It is thriving. There are a lot of tourists going to Kashmir. And fortunately, and this is, typical Kashmiri and Pakistani district, that they will not disturb tourism because Kashmir survives on tourism. Otherwise, it's very easy. I mean, if you can hit people in all over Jammu, it's not difficult to blow up a bus or something carrying tourists. But that has not happened. So that's how we project normalcy. There is a kind of normalcy, but it's not the kind of normalcy that we want to see because the Kashmiri has gone quiet, and that disturbs me. There's been a sort of silence. And I think what will nip this silence in the bud is these elections. Once this result comes out and Kashmir has a government of its own, whichever party it is, then I think the situation should change, hopefully.
All these development projects, the smart city and all, are they the remedy of restoring peace in the region?
Yeah, that's all very good. But to restore peace in Kashmir and in the region, as you say, we must revive the political and democratic process. And with that, we must also restore statehood. Very simple as that. Now, the political and democratic process, not so much the political, but the democratic process is happening now. And that's why I keep repeating that once these elections are over and we have a proper result, I think things hopefully might change.
New Delhi keeps talking about normalcy, Kashmir being mainstreamed, everything is happening positively. Still, UAPA and PSA have been slapped against journalists, politicians. Will it help bring peace in the region, number one? And if there is normalcy, what these barbed wires, bunkers, such operations are?
That happens because, as I say, terrorism hasn't gone. It's still there. And Pakistan has that capability of disturbing the peace. So it continues. And as I said, the normalcy is when in the summer, and the summer is continuing yet. This is a very good season in Kashmir, one of the best. Autumn. There will be tourists. There are always tourists. So that is normalcy. But I think the greater normalcy will come once we have an elected government in Kashmir. The Kashmiri criticism since the abrogation of 370 is that we are being ruled by outsiders. So hopefully that will end with the elections.
And booking journalists, politicians under UAPA, PSA, will it help New Delhi to restore peace there?
I don't think so, but I don't know which journalists you're talking about or which politicians you're talking about. Because I think the politicians are all out. You mentioned another thing about mainstreaming. Now, mainstreaming is a very important part of dealing or handling Kashmir, and I think it goes back to 1947. Because what has been our problem in Kashmir? The problem has been Pakistan. So the Delhi's effort throughout has been to mainstream Kashmir. And, first we started with Sheikh Abdullah, and he was mainstreamed in 75 when he entered into an accord with Indira Gandhi. So after that, Farooq has been mainstreamed. The other mainstream leaders are mainstream. The Hurriyat was also getting mainstream. Now it is mainstream, I think. But you mentioned an interesting thing that the Jamaat is participating in the elections. So are some old Hurriyat people participating. Now so somebody is reviving all this for their thing, political gain. But it won't happen.
There is a criticism of Jamaat that they have now become BJP agents. And
I don't want to comment on all that, whose agents they are. The election results will tell you, whose agent, whose agent. But the point is, the Jamaat has participated in elections in the past. Gilani Saab participated 5 or 6 times, and he was Pakistan's last man standing. I think he participated maybe 5 times and lost 3 times, or participated 6 times and won 3 times, something like that. But he did participate.
one last thing.
You had so many last things.
So, do you watch movies?
Yeah, of course I watch movies. I mean, not regularly, but I watch
Have you
movies.
seen Kashmir Files? How was it?
No, I didn't see it. But what I heard about it was, the Kashmiri was critical of it. So if the Kashmiri is critical, I think I would also be critical if I saw it. But I haven't seen it.
This is what Mr. Dulat had to say, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned.